this particular module. First off, let's go ahead and get rid of one particular field, and that's the Indiana one, because we don't want that one in there because we're comparing counties, and Indiana obviously is not a county. So right-click there and hide. So I have that now hidden. So up here we have each of the different decades. Some of them are more useful than others. We're just going to focus in on what's happened in the 20th century, in particular the last 10 years. So to do this, what we're going to do is go into this space right here. And for me, it's 04. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put an equal sign, no spaces. So no spaces on any of this. Then I'm going to put a parentheses. So we have the left parenthesis. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the 2020 and then minus 2010, close the parentheses. Now the divide, which is a backslash, and by the 2010 one, so the M4 value. And so yours should look something like that. And so what we're doing is we're finding the percentage change from 2010 to 2020 for all these individual counties. So that's great. So go ahead and enter. And so we should get a number like that. Go to the right-hand corner of this box, click on it, hold it down, and go all the way down until we get to the last county, Whitley County. Now we should see all these populated. Let's go back up here, make sure we have them all highlighted. And now right-click inside the box, Format Cells. We're going to use percentage. One's good enough. Click on OK. And so now we have the percentage change for counties from 2020 to 2010. We'll go ahead and do that. We're going to label this one percent change 2010 to 2020. All right. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and save this. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and save it and save as and add your last name to the end of it. So it should be G327, activity 5, option 1, and then your last name. That's how then what you'll do is you'll upload this particular file, and that'll be your assignment. So you'll be uploading, in this case, a Microsoft Excel file to Canvas. All right, so we got our category. We got our last one. And so for our first map, that's all we're going to focus in on is percent change in this last decade at the county level. All right. Next up, what we have to do is we have to tell the Microsoft Excel, we have to kind of give it some information. So I'm going to go ahead and do an insert. So I clicked on B, all of this, right-clicked, and did an insert. So now I have all this now open here. So what I want you to do is for Adams, right next to it, type in Indiana. What this is doing is it's letting Microsoft know, or Microsoft Excel, it's letting them know, okay, you're going to make this map, but these over here, these refer to Indiana. So that's just a way to kind of differentiate, because there's a Franklin County in Tennessee, I assume, probably one in Kentucky. So it's just making sure we're looking at these particular counties. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit here. Now what you're going to do this time is hold down the left button. So you're going to click on Adams County, hold it down, and now you're going to highlight both the county and the state name and go all the way down. Very important. So we're going to highlight it. Now, on the extreme left-hand corner of your keyboard should be the CTRL button. Go ahead and click that and hold it down. Keep holding it down, and now go over to our newly created column from the top value all the way down. And now I have them both highlighted. Go up to Insert, Maps. Go ahead and just click on it, and boom, we have our first map. And so what this is showing is at the county level, where do we see counties that grew the fastest? Where do we see the ones that actually didn't grow, went the other direction? Here what we'll do is we'll use the chart title. We'll use that particular value that we have here. And that's our first map. So go ahead and save it, and we'll start working on the next one. For map number 2, we're just going to this time identify, well, which of those counties that grew which of them exceeded the rate that the state grew. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to now go unhide the Indiana one. Go ahead and unhide it so that that's now revealed. And for this one, let's go ahead and let's make sure that that formula is there. And so if we go ahead and we can do this a few different ways, you can, like I did here with the grab the 4.1 and then go up, or we can go back and do what we did beforehand, where we do equals left parentheses 2020 minus the 2010, close the parentheses, then divide it by the 2010 equals, and so Indiana, 4.7% is what the state grew from 2010 to 2020 in terms of percentages. Great. All right, let's go ahead and let's get the A column. Go ahead and click the control button on the bottom left of your computer. Add the B column, and then the P column, or whatever the column is that we just created called percent change 2010 to 2020. Highlight them all. We're going to copy them, and then we're going to put them in a new sheet and then paste them in. So this should be what we see here. All right, next up we're going to see, gotta sort these because we want the ones that are above 4.7%. So let's go ahead, we'll sort them all. So we'll go ahead and highlight all of them, including Indiana, highlight all the counties, and then go up here to data, sort, and this time do we want to go ascending or descending, and we want to go descending. Expand the selection, yes. What that's going to do is it's going to expand and include these as well, these other cells in the same row. And so we have that switch, and so where's Indiana? Okay, Indiana's right here. Go ahead and bold. So all of these particular counties, the growth rate exceeding the one there for the state. All right, so now we'll just go ahead and we'll just keep on doing what we did previously. And so what we'll do is we'll highlight both of these. We just want the ones that are above the state average. And then we'll highlight all of them and then control button. We're now going to do the percent change. Go to insert, maps, create a new map. And so this here would be now Indiana counties that grew faster than state average. And if I hit enter, I can go down and say greater than 4.7%. So now we know just the counties. And so once again, let's go ahead and save it. Now we've created the second map for this particular option. Our third map was just going to simply identify where the counties are that decreased in population from 2010 to 2020. So I'm not really concerned about values in terms of how much of a percentage loss. I just want to know, okay, show me a map with all of the map of all the counties that had a decreasing rate. I want them all to essentially be colored the same color. I want to know where they are. So that's our objective here. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and create a new one. So we'll go ahead and get all of these, copy them, and let's create a new sheet. So then we're going to paste them in. So now let's just go ahead and we'll do descending. So here now we'll sort descending. Expand the selection, yes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now insert a column. Now let's make it easier for us. So I'm going to insert a column, and I want all values in which they're negative, because that means it's a decrease. So I'm going to put a 1 next to all of those. So I'm going to go ahead and I can go and make this quicker. And so I'm going to go down. I'm looking to my right here, and when do I see? All right, so it looks like Stark County was 0.0%, so that'd be, I guess, a growth. So negative 0.1, so Clinton County. So essentially all those counties now have a 1 here next to them. So now I've identified each of the decreasing ones and just gave them a 1. All right, so next up what we'll do is we'll once again highlight just the county and the state name there. So I have those both highlighted. Control button is being held down. Now I'm going to the C column, getting all these ones as well. not too many. Just want to get all the ones. Make sure we're precise here. Go to Insert, Maps. And so here, counties with decreasing growth rate, 2010 to 2020. I don't need this anymore because it's really not telling me. All it tells me is 1 or 0. Don't need that. And so now I've created a map that just shows me where the counties that had a decreasing growth rate are located from 2010 to 2020. All right, next up, we're going to actually use geographic data to make, in this case, line graphs. So go back to sheet 1, and of course, make sure we're saving this as we go. All right, what we're going to do now, go back to our starting. We're going to go A and B. We're going to once again highlight those, Control button. And this time, we're going to go 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, and 2020. We're going to highlight them all, copy, and make a new sheet, paste them in. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and let's do an insert in between each of these. So that we should have something like this. And so what we'll do now is we'll essentially do what we've done beforehand. We're going to look at percentage change of growth rate over time, and we're going to just focus in on the biggest ones, the biggest counties. And I'll come back to that here in a minute. So what we'll do, go ahead and for each of these do equals, and then same deal, left parentheses. And so the 80s growth rate is going to be shown by taking 1990 and subtracting from it the 1980 value, close parentheses, and now divide by the 1980 value. And we'll have to change these because these are all going to be zeros, and so change these by going to the Format Cells. So I'll highlight all of them, right-click, Format Cells, go to Percentage, decimal places, 1's good. And now we have all the percentages, and we'll just replicate this for each of the different decades. Before we sort here, let's go ahead and we'll get rid of Indiana because we don't need that anymore. And now we can label this percent change 1980s, percent change 1990s, percent change 2000s, percent change 2010s. Okay, all right, so now we got it. Let's sort this sucker. All right, and so we got rid of Indiana. We got our proper headings. We're ready to go. We want the top 9 counties. So I go ahead and I highlight all of them here in this far right-hand column because I'm using the top counties based on 2020 results. So I have it all highlighted. I'm now going to go to the sort of largest to smallest, expand the selection, yes. And for some reason, what happened there was they just decided to take everything. So go ahead and highlight this last one, highlight it, copy it, and come up to the first one here, Marion County, and insert copied cells, and that should shift everything back down. So we now should have back again all of our proper headings, and the counties that are the top 9 should be shown here. So let's go ahead and highlight them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. And so I'll highlight them. Those are our top 9 largest counties in Indiana of the 92. All right, so now what we'll do is we're going to create our line graph. So go ahead and highlight on the county, all of it, then the 80s, including the heading, then the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. Now what we'll do is we'll go up to Insert. You'll see the line graph option right there. And you can do whatever you want. I mean, the ones that kind of, some look better than others. But in this case, we'll just go ahead and use the first one available to us. And this is not really showing us what we want to see here. We want to see change over time. We don't want to see the counties. And so we need to change the data. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll right-click on the chart, select Data, and let's go ahead, let's push this switch row column. Let's see what happens there. Aha, and now we've got it. So one of the problems with this particular chart is it's too small. So right-click inside the chart and move chart to its new sheet. And now we can see a little bit more. All right, so what this is showing is different counties over time, and it's showing its growth rate. And so what we know is we already know that Hamilton County, we already know what this Hendricks County, we already know that there are counties in which there are a lot of people are moving to, Brownsburg, Avon, Carmel, Westfield, Noblesville, on and on and on. But what we don't really know is, okay, is this growth accelerating? Is it decelerating? Or is it staying about the same? And what we can see is since the boom of the 1990s, the suburban growth rate, we've now seen everything starting to slow down just a little bit in these particular large counties. Now, what's happening in the other counties, that isn't really shown here. For example, Boone County would be one that's really going through the roof right now with huge percentages. Johnson County, Hancock County as well, but they're not in the top 9. So this is really showcasing our large counties in Indiana are having kind of a steady to, in some cases, a decelerating positive growth rate. Cool. All right, so what we'll do here is go ahead and we'll get rid of the title. We don't really, just go ahead and delete it. And now save. And so now we've created 4 of these particular maps and charts. And now our final task is to chart the population trends for a particular country, or county, I should say, of your choosing. And to show you how to do this, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll just use Indiana as an example. So you'll be choosing whatever county you want. So I'm going to highlight Indiana, hold the control button, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to highlight all of its values from 1900 to 2020. So I have that done. Cool. Now go to Insert. I'm going to make a line graph of that. And so you should see something like this. And so this is Indiana's population over time. However, we got a problem, and that problem's down here at the bottom. I'm going to change these from those individual numbers to the actual years here. And so to do that, I'll go ahead and I'll go down here and I'll try to. There we go. Make sure you get the box so it's all around these small individual numbers. So when you're inside that box with the crosshairs here, go ahead and right-click. And what you'll do is you'll say Select Data. In this horizontal category, Axis Labels, do Edit, Axis Label Range. We want to highlight 1900 to 2020. Hit OK. OK. And then there you have your county population change over time with the different timestamps, or the years, the decades shown there at the bottom. Okay, so now what you'll do is you'll essentially save this. And so then what I'll do is I'll then take a look at each of these and just attach that to your particular assignment there in Canvas.